Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another new episode of Shonen Ronin, episode 25. This episode, we're going to talk about Kaiju number 8, Black Clover. I'm sorry. No, we're going to skip Black Clover. I apologize. Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia. This weekend of chapters was a little sad, actually. Everybody had some sad boy stuff. But yeah, definitely for sure, guys. Let's see our faces right now. How's it going, everybody? Everybody's having a good morning, had a good afternoon. We are back. We are finally here to talk about our latest weekly Shonen Jump of chapters. Whoo-wee. It's a doozy. It's a good doozy, for sure.
Yeah, really good set this week. Really good set.
So I guess we're gonna start with Kaiju number 8 then, yeah?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just ready to jump into it because I need to talk about My Hero and I need to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen because they both did something that we alluded to last week.
Mm-hmm.
All three of these that we're going to talk about today. We talked about all of these things, which is going to be really interesting.
I need it. But no, Kaiju number 8. So Kaiju number 9, smarter than everybody thought. Yet again.
and then apparently stronger than everybody is, because he said that, yeah, Beta and Gamma were before I shedded my skin and everything to evolve. This is me Alpha, skin off and everything, full max to the power, and it looks like stronger than Kaiju number 2.
Yeah,
I mean, potentially.
I think in this form, I think he is. I mean, he pretty much kind of smashed the left gauntlet a little bit and his arm. So it's like, we knew that when he shed his skin that we were going to see a much stronger version of number 9 because of how strong number 8 was at the time when he took out number 9. So we knew that we were going to see that. We knew that number 9 split himself a couple different times. So this was really, really cool to see that it was really all just a distraction. Like, in the last chapter, they were so happy that they were able to get rid of all the Hanju and everything else. And it's like, well, this was all just a really clever distraction for number 9 to get to number 2. Because he did say he wanted to get his hands on a kaiju weapon. So this was very tactical. Like Ray was saying, this was great to see just how smart number 9 is, how tactical he is. So, yeah, man, loved it.
I mean, and none of that, it's just the way that he, like you said that he, like, tactfully, like this was like masterminded. Like he made sure that was a whole coordinated effort. That entire thing that he did, they made it seem like this is exactly what he was trying to do. When I mean, it seems like it's such a simple thing, but it was very much made you look. And this is where I was going. But the fact that he's as strong as he is now is terrifying because, like a virus, when it defeats a vaccine, it figures out a way to get stronger than the vaccine. You have to come up with a better vaccine. He's like, this is the strongest we've seen him. You're right. This is the strongest that he's been, and it's actually really scary. And the fact that he can get stronger than this.
That's the scary thing, and that's why
the scariest part.
That's the general is like, nah, I gotta kill you right here and now, or you get worse. But
so I guess what I'm wondering is, like, you know how number 8 reacted to number 2.
Oh.
If Kafka shows up here, does that kind of start to happen again? Because now you got 3 kaiju in the same place.
But you would want
like
to
3 kaiju spirits.
I don't think so.
You would want to.
You don't think so?
If it was activate the whole Kaiju number 8's rage form kind of
No,
thing?
I mean, like he would activate it. Kafka would. I mean, like he'd be able to tap into the energy of the hatred of the kaiju in him.
Well, okay, so that's different.
Yeah,
would
that's
be
different.
different.
So that
I mean, it would
think,
have to be different. You know what I'm saying?
that I think is very possible. Like, I can definitely see him showing up, and I can see the kaiju inside him reacting to number 2. But because of Kafka's recent boost in confidence, he'll use that energy exactly like you said.
That's what I'm hoping.
To go against a stronger number 9. That's what I think as well.
That would, because I mean, there's nobody that could beat number 9 right now.
They could
Kafka,
do the whole shonen trope.
Yeah.
They could do the whole shonen trope though, if he sees the general get hurt really bad, or he got killed or something like that to help trigger the anger.
If he don't get to say "I'm proud of you" to his daughter to her face, I ain't having it. No. Nope.
I hope the general doesn't die. I really hope not.
I hope not either, but I feel like he's definitely going to be out of commission combat-wise
Facts.
after this.
His left arm is already done.
I mean,
He's only got one arm right
basically, his one of his subordinates said, at this level, he might be able to manage at 8.5, but we now have seen that number 9 is higher than at 8.5. And so it's like, oh, no, bro, you retired after this if you don't die. So I'm like, I guess I think that number 9 gets away with number 2. Honestly.
I think so too, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
100%.
if anything, like the general would know, like, yeah, if you're gonna take the weapon, I'm not coming there with you. I'm not giving you my the whole spotty to control
I think they
it.
show up. I think he puts up enough of a fight that he knows that he's outmatched when the rest of them get there, and so he's like, "All right, got what I needed. Deuces. Until next time, bitches."
That's exactly what's gonna happen. He's gonna get number 2, and as soon as they show up, he's out. Because he's smarter than that too. He knows he can barely take Kafka, much less Narumi and Shinomiya. So yeah, he's definitely gonna dip.
What's gonna be worse is the Virus 9 with the power of number 2. If he gets away with that weapon and power, though, that's gonna be a dangerous combination.
I mean, so I guess what I want to ask y'all then is like, what's the point? Why? Why would he take them?
So that the humans
The
won't
kaiju
use
power?
it?
Say that again?
I say, like, so like the humans don't use it for themselves to protect human. But even though, like, they seem like to be losing, right? Slowly losing.
So in my mind, it's to cement the kaiju supremacy. Like,
So to make himself stronger?
to make himself stronger and a legion to take over the earth. Potentially, right?
I guess
because
I
ever
haven't
since-
seen an overarching plan for this kaiju just yet. Like, this has been the main
Because I
goal.
mean, for me, the point is to become the ultimate apex predators, right?
Okay.
Yes.
That's what the kaijus were supposed to be, and then the humans rose up, defeated them, turned them into weapons to use against them.
Which is dirty,
So
by the
I
way.
see this as a full revolt. Now
I
I
smack
don't
you
think
with your boy.
I don't think he's doing it on behalf of all kaiju, but he's doing it for himself to be the ultimate apex predator. And for that, you also have a legion to take out like the rest of humanity. But that's just what I think.
Well, remember the history of number 2 when it came to existence? It nearly destroyed the entirety of Japan. Like,
number 2 almost won.
It caused the most destructive damage throughout the entire of Japan. Maybe he just wants to, like, bring it back. Like, if you had a hard time facing the first time.
This thing seems too smart to have a plan that simple. So I guess I'm really curious to see what their end game is, because now we don't know. Like, his end game, like we've known for the longest time that he was trying to get another kaiju power. Why? Unless they've said it somewhere else and I did not pay attention, I don't know why, and I want to know why. So that's why I'm gonna keep reading Kaiju number 8, because it's great. God, it's so good.
Yeah, man. And the art was incredible in this chapter.
Art
I
was
mean,
really
it's
good,
incredible
actually.
in every chapter, man. Like, it's so good.
It is the one that it's the sleeper. It's the sleeper hit that people just aren't paying attention to yet. Straight up.
The punch connecting, and then the whole
That
top
punch
side.
panel, page 19, bro.
Yeah.
Oof. But I mean, also like page 14 and 15. Oof. I love this. This is such a good, it's such a good manga, and I love it. It's week to week. I don't think I've ever had a chapter of Kaiju number 8 where I was like, eh. So far, that's never happened.
And the general is so fast too. Like, you have to think about how close Kaiju number 9 was, how fast he was coming in with that fist, and he just dives out of the way completely. Like, I don't know, man. I really hope he doesn't die. They're setting him up for it, kind of, because whenever the parent finally says, "I'm proud of you,"
yes, exactly.
It's like, God damn it, they're not going to be able to reconcile. But I really hope they don't.
It's a dad. That's not normal for Shonen, where the dad is still alive and saying, "I'm proud of you." You know,
right?
That's not normal. So I'm like, okay.
And the mom is already gone. You can't have.
Right.
You can't take dad too. Oh no. Shit.
But then let's see. So Dylan says, I feel like Kafka again and Kikoru will show up just as late as number 9 wins the fight and gets away. Exactly. That seems like the most likely thing to happen here. I'll be real surprised if they manage to do any damage to number 9 in this state, because they're all tired after the fights they were just in, and they're showing like they're basically using all their energy to get to him now. So yeah, I'd be surprised. But then I guess does he take number 2 and number 6? Or does he just get number 2?
I think he just gets number 2 for now.
Yeah, I feel you. But Dylan also wants to
even with that, it gives him a huge advantage over Kafka.
Can we talk about how sturdy Sal's briefcase is to hold number 2? It's true.
I would hope so.
That's a strong ass briefcase.
I would hope so.
I mean,
what's it? I guess that's the briefcase that keeps the gauntlets, is what I think.
Yeah,
so that's a strong ass briefcase.
Or like it actually went through the briefcase, but it didn't go through the gauntlet.
Well, it didn't go through the briefcase. It just dented it.
Yeah,
real good. That's a strong ass briefcase. You're absolutely right.
Honestly, you could have just used the briefcase and like slam his head over there or something like that if it's this sturdy and shit.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, you still need the gauntlets, bro.
Take out the gauntlets and then just use the briefcase as a weapon.
I mean, if it worst comes to worst, that could be Kafka's weapon. Here, take this briefcase.
It's sturdy.
Oh man, but no, I'm like, this is.
But yeah, to hold weapons of mass destruction, I would fucking hope that it could hold up to like even a missile. You know what I mean? I would hope so.
But I also still, because I still think that like there's something about these weapons that like still makes them kind of dangerous on their own. So I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, there's a reason why they keep them in like such a tough case. But yeah, that's a good point.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've already seen it. Kafka literally reacted to it. There is still some type of sentient consciousness within the kaiju weapon. So can't wait to learn more about it though. It's gonna be really interesting.
I want more kaiju lore, period, from this story, because I feel like they could tell me anything and I'd be like, yup, that's great. I love it. Yup.
I'm pulling this out of nowhere, right? But I would love for them to explore like the Hollow Earth, right? Like the kaijus came from the Hollow Earth, and
like
they've
Kong,
always been around.
Like
exactly,
Kong them?
Exactly,
bro. I would fucking love that. That'd be sick.
Yeah, they don't have to do it, but I think it would be sick if they did.
That would be sick. You right? I would love that. You get it. You get it. Sam, what'd you think? Final thoughts?
Oh man, we have 11 days. Technically, the next following week, not this week, the next following week until the new chapter for chapter 50, and 50 is a big milestone, halfway to 100.
I'm glad that this one has stayed alive as long as it has, but it's good.
It's too good, bro. It's too
very good.
So is it like near its anniversary? It's actually no, it passes anniversary.
Yeah, I'm about to say it passed, didn't it?
Okay, yeah.
I have no idea.
July.
Do you have your volume 1s and 2s pre-ordered on Amazon?
Months ago.
I will do that.
James,
today.
you need to do that immediately.
Technically, they have volume 2.
Yeah, I
in
have
April as well. Yeah, same. It's not going anywhere.
And chat, you need to go do that too. If you don't have yours pre-order, you need to do that before Kaiju pops off early next year.
I mean, it's popping off now.
So look, it's in pre-pop off stage. Next year, I think it pops off. Like I think Shonen Jump is going to put a lot more effort behind it. Perfect, like honestly, because it's too good of a series for them not to at this point. So
enough where anime.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's still really early in the manga, but I bet you there's talks already. They have to be talking about an anime. Yeah.
I would be stupid
I'd be surprised.
not to.
Exactly.
There's no other anime IP exactly like Kaiju number 8. You'd be foolish not to. I
legitimately would be shocked for them to have no plans for an anime. I mean, like they could be like, we have no plans currently. It isn't like, we haven't like physically done anything, but I know they've talked about it. They had to have talked about it.
Had to.
So, yeah, bro. Ugh, I love Kaiju. Kaiju's so much fun. I love Kaiju.
Yeah, it's consistently like one of my favorites week to week. Period. Well,
and I'm gonna keep
whenever it drops.
It's preaching the gospel of it online, so y'all actually pick it up and read it. It's not just about putting it on the list. I need you to actually read this damn manga.
It's also almost about to reach Spy Family's number of chapters. And we already know Spy Family is already getting an anime, so Kaiju number 8 has to be in talks. And if there's actually more chapters, they have enough content to literally have an anime for this.
I mean, because it's got more chapters than Sakamoto Days and just about Spy Family, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It could work.
Yeah, it could work. You're right.
That's enough.
But Rob, I'm glad you said something about My Hero because, I mean, are we talking about that next or Jujutsu Kaisen next?
I don't mind talking about
pay attention.
Next. I don't mind.
Yeah, JJK was crazy. They were both really good chapters.
They were fantastic chapters. But I mean, if y'all want to talk
do
about My Hero,
let's do My Hero first. Let's do My Hero.
Let's talk about My Hero right now.
Rob, stick around with Do My Hero.
By the way, just a quick heads up, we're gonna wait until we actually get Miguel back on the show if he's still gonna be on the show to do Black Clover again, because we haven't talked about it as a group in a long time. I'd love to talk about it with Abe and Miguel, because there's a lot that's happened recently, and I feel like this next chapter is going to be like our actual like, oh shit, things that happen in chapter. So we're gonna wait. Yeah. If we have them back next week, we'll talk about it together next week. So
yeah,
for you Black Clover folks, not this week.
Yeah, we're only skipping this chapter because, I mean, realistically, I mean, not a lot of stuff happened in this chapter too. You know, there was a lot of reminiscing for Yami, and then getting to see the whole crew together, all there to save him, and he realizes, like, even though he's been putting together all of these misfits, he was a misfit that found a family here with all of these people. So it was a really, you know, powerful chapter. But as far as a review, we'll wait until we got Abe and Vash back on the show.
Yeah. God, but My Hero Academia, talk about a goddamn good chapter. Oh boy, oh, this is so good.
So last week we talked about what was going to happen with Star and Stripe. We talked about the possibility of her using New Order to stop Shigaraki in some way from stealing her quirk. What happens this week, right? So let's talk about that shit.
Bro, so like I didn't expect him to do it this way, but this is something we talked about. We were like, she's going to create a new order that prevents him from using this quirk, because we know how dangerous it is for him to have. And he says that in the beginning. He's like, bro, if I had New Order and One for All, it's a wrap. Like, ain't nobody touching me. And Kathleen Bates. Woo! I want that image of her just showing up in the business world like, sup, bitch? I need that on my wall. Because he's like, wait, what? Oh, it's so good. Like, Horikoshi nailed this, like, legitimately.
Yeah,
he
smashed it.
Nailed this. New Order revolts against other quirks, meaning that it is now
a virus.
Nobody can have it. Nobody.
Not only useless, it will attack your other quirks of anything.
Well, I mean, it revolts. It basically will kill you, which is like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Like, that's amazing.
So what does he do now? This is my thing.
What does he do?
All for One had to have thought of some way that New Order could be used against him, not in this specific way.
I don't think.
No. I don't. No. He hasn't. He hadn't really. Remember, he kept thinking like, "Oh, I want to." He kept thinking about the positive of like, "Oh, I want to keep doing this. What happens if I do this? What happens with this?" There's so many experiments I could do with just one thing. Nothing came to the point where, what if it's been using against you from the inside? Only when it's used like from someone else.
I mean, and remember also, he planned to have One for All before he went after New Order, because he was
like,
that's actually how I would be prepared for it. He said this was a gamble. Like, you showing up, I wasn't planning for it. But
All for One always has a backup plan. I mean, there has to be something.
At this point, I would like to say he was not prepared for this.
He was not prepared, especially for that last page.
No!
Like, damn you, Almighty! Like, oh damn.
That's what I said. He definitely wasn't prepared for this specific New Order rule, but All for One has something up his sleeve, because Deku and 1A still have to technically defeat him, right? So it's like, what happens after this?
But it does help even the playing field, I would definitely say, because of World Order. Get rid of as many of the other quirks from All for One.
So I don't think she's destroying the quirks, but what she's doing, because Horikoshi's a goddamn genius when it comes to his own story, she's separating All for One and Shigaraki in the Vestige world. She's gonna be the one to defeat All for One in there, and then it's Shigaraki again, which is wild. Like, I think that's what's happening. So like, Horikoshi was like, all right, I'm gonna get this twofold. Like, this is going to work for me in both of these ways. Two birds, one giant, beautiful American hero.
That would definitely be interesting. I mean, she definitely destroyed one of the quirks, which I did think was interesting.
Reflect.
So it's like she destroyed one. The other quirks are attacking All for One. But what you added in, Ray, like, that would be really interesting if that's exactly what she's doing. This revolt is separating All for One from Shigaraki. That would be pretty sick.
Wouldn't it be? But it's like, she's in there like destroying his quirks. But like, I'm like, because he's like, I gotta give this quirk away. So like, what does he do? Like, unless he sees this as a way,
he would need to make contact, right, to actually give away the quirk.
This as a way to nullify Endeavor, if Endeavor shows up. So I'm like, because that would suck.
Yeah, that kills everything with him, Shoto, and Toya, man, and the rest of the family.
But I'm like, so who? Like, what happens here?
It's like, does he actually give it to one of the pilots and just kills one of them?
That's what he actually was trying to plan. That's what he was trying to plan.
do.
But like all the pilots saw it, they had a good idea of it. I was like, yo, just laser is that? That's just stay him in laser. Like, let's start killing from the inside. Yeah. Like you killed our brother in arms. He died. Like,
and he can't reflect it now because Reflect's been destroyed. So like, what's he finna do? Like, this looks like a bad spot for him, which is like, whew, this is good. I love this so much.
Does that make the third movie canon with the whole Reflect quirk?
I mean, yes.
So we have.
I was just thinking that actually.
One way or
these movies are always they all have loose.
One way or another, like All for One stole the Reflect quirk from
absolutely
Mr. Blue.
I mean, he went to jail. Where was All for One?
In jail.
I
thought he would like get away from him, but then again, he said, "Yeah, I'm just using it. I'm just using it as fodder."
That's a good point.
Oh man, it's so good. But I was like, this is Horikoshi's way of also like kind of cementing that All Might's like presence and influence.
It's still not done. Like
it's not done.
He did not know how far it reached and how much.
I love that the ghost of All Might is still beating his ass. I love that.
It won't be All Might. It won't be All Might himself, but it'll be someone who's like him, who got the inspiration,
inspired, or that he saved. That's gonna beat your ass. And I love that. That makes me so happy. And y'all like, All Might's dead. No, he ain't. He gonna live forever.
Yeah, Rob, I don't think his regeneration quirk is gone, but I do think his regeneration quirk is working.
That'd be too much.
Him.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see that.
It might be working in the opposite way, like just tearing him apart.
I'm wondering what other quirks she manages to bust up before she's done.
Yeah,
like I want to know. I really want to know. But now I also
hopefully that search quirk.
That'd be nice. That'd be real nice.
Hopefully,
maybe she's like strategically grabbing them. I hope that'd be cool. But what I'm hoping, and this is a stretch, that now that she is in as a quirk, she is a part of the One for All for One verse. And so maybe there's a chance that somehow she ends up in One for All.
Maybe, I don't know. I know she's definitely a part of All for One.
Right.
But getting into One for All, who knows?
I mean, they're the same quirk, right?
Yes, that is true. I don't know.
Exactly. But like, would it be too far removed for that to be a potential, like possibly happen? Like they're connected. So it's like,
we do know that a part of this fight will take place in that world. Mm-hmm. So if they're connected, I don't know. Could she be a bridge between the two to help?
I don't know.
Who knows, man?
She did say, and so her rule, she made two rules. She said that Kathleen Bate won't decay.
She tried, but then like
so
she said that after
that's her.
Shigaraki
I think that's
took
her spirit. She didn't say Star and Stripe. She said her name. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that's okay. So that's a fair assessment.
Well, remember, like she has to know the person's real name in order for the quirk.
Well, no, this is what I'm saying. I mean, like she said her name, and so I think it's more of her spirit is still, it remains. Like the person still remains. She won't decay. Physically, she decays.
It's with the whole ... right? I would figure that's. I think it's just he was trying to catch his breath.
Okay, so that's interesting, but I don't think that's how it happened. I think she was. I'm with Sam. I think she was trying to do it, but then Shigaraki stole the quirk before she could, and then she got decayed.
Remember,
consciousness still exists because your consciousness exists within All for One.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is what I'm saying. So like that's why she's able to do what she's doing. Mm-hmm. It's because she didn't decay. She physically decayed, but she
Oh, we
and her
already
quirk.
we
did
already
not decay.
we already knew like a person's quirk is also part of like their DNA, their spirit, everything already.
Yeah, so it's already
But-
copied into All for One, and since
Yeah.
every quirk revolts against him, her quirk would represent her physical form. That's how I took it.
Well, so
Yeah.
that's why I think it actually matters that she said her name, because it wouldn't be this potent.
So
if that makes sense.
So what I came from that point was it was to trick Shigaraki because it was enough time for her to use New World Order before Shigaraki gets to her, but she used the whole the New Order quirk saying like New Order revolts the other quirks.
But that's the second. But that was
the first one. That was the first one. She said the second, and then she said the second one. She had to say the first one first. The first one was revolt. New quirk has to revolt. Yes, the quirk needs to revolt others.
I think that was the second one.
No, that was the first one.
That was the first one. So the first
Then why would
rule
he
that
show
she
it?
puts,
Why would he show it in the reverse?
Trick him to say like, oh, you're trying to save your own skin by saving yourself, but you won't
See,
decay. But
I
it was
don't
already
even-
too late.
I don't even think it's in reverse. I think it was just a reveal. So
Yeah.
the moment that Shigaraki touches her, the rule that she enacts first is revolting against all quirks, right?
Yes, that's the first
And then
one.
when Shigaraki removes his hand off of her face, then she tries to say Kathleen Bate won't decay, but it doesn't work because her quirk's already gone.
So
And then we get the
for
reveal
me,
of what
that
actually
doesn't make
happened.
sense because he blows up before. Does that make sense? Like
What do you mean?
blows
He
up
doesn't
before.
though, because
No, he was blowing up after.
3,
He was dropping.
if you look at page 2 and 3, right, he's touching her face. That's when she enacts rule number 1, and then when he lets go, she tries to stop the decay from happening. So she says her name to stop the decay, but then it doesn't work. And then in 4 and 5, Shigaraki thinks he's won, and then in 6 and 7, we get the reveal that it was actually a trick.
Yeah, he tried
I
to
think
use
it came
Oral
after
Order.
because it was the reveal.
There was no time to blow him up with your plays, so I set a new rule at the last second. To me, that sounds like it was set. That's literally what she says.
Not,
At the last second
before he got
touched her
contact.
face.
Before contact.
Because that was the most logical choice at that moment.
Yeah, it was actually.
So at the last second, right? Because if you go back to the previous chapter, you can see the look on her face, where the look of
She had a plan. She was
acceptance, like we
smiling.
were talking
Be
about.
like, yeah, I'm
She
not
was like,
going out
"All
this
right,
alive.
This is my swan song. This is my last act." And in that split second, that's when she enacts revolt against all quirks. And then when he takes his hand off, she
I would
tries
say-
to stop the decay from happening.
I would say that means that she did it last chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did it last chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
makes
that's
sense.
still
That's
before.
that's
Yeah,
why we
yeah.
don't know what she did like last reveal. And she instead of like
No, this confirms to me
Yeah.
then she did it last chapter. Yeah, it's like so when
Yeah.
she was smiling.
Yeah,
he-
so
he
that
had-
rule came first.
yeah, that group came first.
And then she
makes sense.
tried to stop the decay this time, but her quirk was already gone, so which is
or
unfortunate.
it just or just decay was already working, and so it was too late.
I thought it would steal her quirk first and then decay, or both at the
I
same
mean,
time. kind of
he's
thing.
doing both at the same time.
Yeah, both at the same time. But
Yeah,
after
which is
after the
terrifying.
arm was off, you're
Yeah.
done. You lost this one. You don't
mean,
and,
'cause
have
she,
the
I mean,
quirk.
and he was
when
trying
he
to do
made
two things at
contact,
once, and
yeah.
she was trying to enact two rules at once, but only one set in before the other.
And that makes sense to me. That makes sense. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, last chapter she enacted the rule that we see at the end of the chapter. That's why
Right.
she was smiling. She was like, "Yep, all right, the plane's not gonna make it in time. I'm gonna make
Exactly.
this rule." And then she tries to stop decay, but decay is already working, and it's too
Yeah.
late. Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Pedro,
Yeah. It's really messed up. But I mean, it is what it is, because
Mm-hmm.
realistically, if she fought with 1A, it wouldn't be fair. He would be done, right?
Right.
Because she could take like New Order, make Bakugo's explosion quirk a nuke, like
Well, I mean,
the
she
power of
could
a nuke. You know what I
make
mean? Like
New
she could
Order.
do anything,
Well, New Order, Deku's invincible.
right? Like she could do anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's,
like-
it's unfortunate, but she had to go, man.
Pedro
Oh, no,
said it.
we knew.
We all knew.
Twice.
I still
Like
think.
twice,
I mean, and we
we had
said
to go.
we said this last episode. Either the quirk has to go or she's got to go.
Yeah.
And in this case, both things went.
I mean, like it's not the first time we've also seen a character who just got newly introduced and not last long. Remember Lady Nagant? I mean,
She don't count. She's still alive.
I thought she was dead. The two
She's
quick
alive. She's
explosions.
just
She's alive.
really messed up.
Yeah, he blew her up, but apparently she's still alive somewhere.
Yeah,
So,
Hawks grabbed her. She was still alive.
but no, I think this was the best way this could have and like Horikoshi handled this so well because we've seen stuff like this happen in other stories, but it's like a cop out and like what the last stitch ever doesn't even work. But like here, it just makes so much sense. Like for this quirk to like literally be his downfall. He thought it was his trump card, and he's like, nah,
exactly.
This was the trap card, my guy, and you fell for it.
It's like literally having a whole Gigamakia inside himself with all the quirks and fighting and stuff.
I love. So if you look at what is it, page 9?
Yeah,
you can see the other quirks are like trying to fight her too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's
yeah,
so
because
good.
he still technically controls him.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you,
man.
I'm not gonna count all entire bodies, but each of
There's
these
so
are like
many.
quirks and everything.
Each of those silhouettes is a quirk. It's wild.
It can also help us, like, there's not gonna be like a whole curveball quirk that All For One kept.
I mean, I am very glad that they made sure to like mention that Reflect was destroyed because Reflect is OP as hell.
Oh yeah,
Ridiculously OP.
So I'm glad that that's gone. I'm glad that they were like, yeah, no, let's get rid of that. Like specifically,
I could be miscounting, but I see like 16 or 17 silhouettes.
That's wild.
That's so much of them. Yeah, that's why like
like it's crazy.
And there's like more keep on coming up. It's literally like having Heartless and Kingdom Hearts coming after you kind of things. But it would definitely help in the end so that you don't have a whole curveball, different kind of quirks to change everything from one for all. At least we would have a set number of how many quirks.
Oh yeah, you think there's more than that?
Yeah,
there's gonna have to be more. And then each of them are trying to attack Revolt.
I mean, because I'm looking at the silhouettes, there might be, I think there's like 20.
Yeah. So Pedro, you asking, and this is the same thing that James is asking. Do y'all think he'll lose regeneration? So like at this point,
he could have lost it almost any time.
If he lost it, he's done.
Yeah, he's really done.
Yeah, I don't see him losing
That's
regeneration.
Why
because at this point that he loses if he loses regeneration at this point. I feel like that's one of the ones that he like protects like with his life.
Because to me,
he will have these other
That's one of his biggest advantages against Fajin, right? Because Deku can use a bunch of quirks, but he can use all of that kinetic energy to keep going. So he'll need to be able to regenerate himself from all of Deku's other quirks.
I feel like that quirk is basically what sets him apart from all of the other villains. Like it doesn't matter how much damage they do, he can regenerate.
Just hyper regeneration.
That's nobody else currently has that. So like that's what makes him what he is. That's why he's so dangerous. So I feel like it's gonna take him a while to regenerate from this, and so this buys them time, which is what I was like, this is perfect because this now it's gonna take him a while to recover from this because you know it's gonna be a cell thing. If there's one atom left, I can regenerate. It's just gonna take a while.
And I feel like even if he loses all of these quirks and he's back to zero, those quirks are copied somewhere else, and he'll just take it from a copy or some shit.
He's got a group of people chilling somewhere. He can just go, suck them up again.
Yeah, he can take quirks from Nomu. I'm sure there's copies that the Doctor made. Like All For One has
still looking at this Nomu right here. Does he transfer his body into that Nomu?
Ooh, that's actually a good point. What if like that's his out? Literally,
that's his out. He moves his consciousness.
Nomu.
He gives his quirk to the Nomu.
He's trying. He would have to try to get rid of these.
So that way that body can die, but remember, a copy of the quirk goes into whatever he. So if he just puts All For One in his Nomu, that's how he bounces out.
Yeah, you just lose the Nomu, but you're still living.
He gives new order to the Nomu, loses the Nomu, and then just leaves.
Yeah, that's what I see that too.
Because
that's the only out. That's his only out.
Him anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you. Peace. Yeah, I can see that too.
He just gives it to the Nomu explodes, and then he just leaves.
Like the more time he has new order within himself, he's like the more destruction
he loses.
So
exactly.
So Reflect was really OP, like you mentioned. So it's like he can't afford to lose any more good quirks.
And I'm like, I'm wondering how many he's actually gonna lose. Because I'm like, it can't just be one. I think it'll be a few, but like just like random fodderish ones that
a fraction.
Like, oh, that sucks.
I think he's gonna lose a fraction of a lot of it, at least.
Well, the Nomu still. Well, that's exactly it, Pedro. It'll like basically kill the Nomu, and then
too many of them.
The quirks within the Nomu.
He loses new order and that Nomu, but like,
and these are just near end Nomus too. They're not like the ones that could take even more. I thought
this one was a high end.
No, these were the near end.
I thought it was a high end too.
I thought they. Remember the doctors didn't have the full experiment?
Shigaraki.
Because remember, he took a bunch with him.
I thought the near.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought they
okay.
were high end.
I thought they were
Yeah.
still the near end that escaped with him.
I'm
right?
not sure. Chat,
If they,
correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah, correct us if we're wrong. But I remember him saying those were the high end, and that's why they were able to do so much damage on their own.
That's what I remember.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong.
I would love to see that. That's what he's doing. Is he's giving this?
Oh, that's the
one-
strongest. Okay.
He would give this one New Order, watch it blow up, and then he escapes.
Yep. So there's two quirks I don't see him losing: Air Force and Hyper Regeneration.
Mhm.
Air Force helps him keep up with Deku's speed and like Ida's speed and shit like that. I don't see him losing it. And of course, like we already talked about, he has to have Hyper Regeneration. I don't see him losing that one either.
You know which one I want him to lose now? The one you talked about earlier, James. His radio sensibility.
Oh yes.
I
Get
want
that
him to
shit
lose
outta
that
here.
one. I need him to lose that.
if both sides are taking an L right now, I need him to take that L because I'm losing the Star and Stripe. He needs to lose at least 4 quirks.
Yeah, I mean, Reflect was pretty big, man.
It's
If
true.
you guys
Reflect
have
was
seen
massive.
World Heroes
If you
Mission,
go watch. If you haven't seen that movie, that quirk is insane. But I mean, we also
And
know
tragic,
that
too.
Deku can destroy it, so it's like whatever. But still,
You have to add more power to it, but like there's gonna have to be some other stuff that you have to.
that movie
handle
was so good.
yeah, man, that was so reminiscent of All Might's fight against the first Nomu, where he had to push beyond. Oh
Yes! It was so good. Ragdoll quirk, I believe, is needed to counter Dangerous. See, that's why I think it needs to go, because we need another W. If we can find him, well, I mean, because Danger Sense. Correct me if I'm wrong. He can only sense things that are happening near him. He can't just like.
It's like
sense
Spidey. It's
where
like
he is.
Spidey
Yeah, right?
senses.
It's-
Yeah, it's like
so,
Spidey
and-
senses.
so
Just a
in
radius.
that respect, it's fine. Like because Danger Sense doesn't really help him find.
It helps you
Hopefully
find danger. Like danger's
Right.
near you, kind of
Mhm,
situation thing.
Yeah, so it would be like kind of like a metal detector, really. All right,
Yeah.
Deku, we're gonna walk down the street. Do you sense any danger?
yeah, it's like Spidey senses. Yeah.
that's my interpretation of that. So like, yeah, if he loses
Yeah,
Ragdoll's
that's
quirk,
what I think too.
that'd be great. I'd really appreciate that. That'd be nice. Whew, man, this is wild. And then also like those people that he basically ate up can rest in peace. Like finally, could you imagine being trapped in this and this dude's using your quirk to literally
Mhm.
like murder and do all of this bad? And all you can do is watch. Wouldn't that suck? Ugh.
Literally hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Oh, clock. No.
Oh, but I'm really interested in what One for All's second user quirk. I mean, we all are. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, so it's either just going to make sense, or it's going to be like, oh, like everybody's going to be like, this is amazing. So like, I'm of the mind that it's just going to make sense. It's like, oh well, yeah, that makes sense.
I still think it's gonna be a shield of some kind,
You think
some
so?
kind of
Yeah.
like temporary aura that he can put around himself to like stop
Mm.
like projectiles.
So
and,
kind of like Captain Celebrities. Oh, that's right. You haven't. Oh, you read Vigilantes?
No, I haven't gotten there yet. But
No.
Okay, well,
I've
that's,
seen.
that's not really a spoiler, so it's fine. But that quirk
I've seen
is
his quirk on
also
the wiki.
OP, so it's like I love it, and I'm glad he didn't show up because he would have got dusted immediately.
But yeah, I think it's some type of aura shield type thing that he can use.
I can
at
kind of
times.
see that. Yeah,
But I don't know.
I can see like it's a Reinhardt shield. I can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something.
But no, this chapter
'Cause-
was amazing. God
That
darn.
the ending for it too, like the whole like All Might saved me, gave me the whole.
I know.
I got to indulge this lovely
Uh.
dream of mine, and then you have that same smile like when all kids when they see All Might, even Deku had that same.
That's
smile
how they
too.
smile. Exactly. That's why I'm like, that horticulture, you're so good at this, bro.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
With
then,
the
but-
salute, dude. Oh my
the
god.
salute and everything. It's like, but also it's like seeing the pilot's face. It's like, oh, that was they sis, bro. It's like, oh no. So I'm like, I
And
hope.
they
that,
were,
like,
But I'm
think
glad
about
that
it, right?
I'm glad that it's not we're not doing a whole emotional situation. This is a real life danger that he's not dead yet. The real threat is still alive. Get rid of him first, and then we'll mourn
Exactly.
later.
I
And
mean,
I'm
they're
glad
doing
for
their
that.
job. They're
Yeah,
doing
the
their job.
soldiers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest shock is like they probably thought they would be sacrificing themselves for
Well,
her.
that's what the plan was.
You know?
That
And
was the
then
plan.
like
Yep.
to see her sacrificing herself for them, and they have to keep fighting, and survivor's guilt and how they're gonna deal with that shit.
It's gonna be so much more worse after on for like America, like who's the new number one hero since their number one
Yeah,
hero's
dude.
dead, and the whole like the whole entire shock of it.
Number one hero for America sacrificed himself to basically cripple the world evil. I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
I would hope it opens up.
I really hope they give her.
I hope because of her sacrifice, the borders are now all up, where they could get all the other world heroes to help.
But I will say, this is probably one of my favorite fights in a hot minute. Like, this fight was incredible.
Facts, bro.
Like, this was one of my favorite fights I think he's done since I think the initial Shigaraki versus Deku. Like,
and one of the more interesting ones too.
Oh, absolutely. There was
just
there was way more involved. There was more
and
nuances. Yeah, like I'm like, yes, please. So that's why I'm hoping the second quirk is kind of complicated in that kind of respect. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's complicated because it makes it that made this fight super interesting. It's because that quirk was so complicated. I loved it. So I want more of that.
Yeah, man.
I want more of that. God dang, this is so good.
Rob, I also hope Deku's getting a lot of rest because the boy
better be sleep.
He needs to sleep for like a week, man.
I mean, but now his arch nemesis is probably gonna need to sleep for a little while too. So, so this is good.
The only sad part for him is it's the life. He can't even get to study the whole War Order quirk neither, because you know how.
No, this is fine. I'm okay with this. I feel like this is the best way for this quirk to like come and go. To be completely honest with you, it made the most like. If Horikoshi was going to do anything like this makes the most sense. I'll be very I can't think of any other thing that he could have done that would have made this much sense. For it to work the way it's working. This is like, yeah, no, you built yourself the ultimate trap card for your villain. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm telling you. And
Horikoshi's smart and realizes that he can't reuse that trap card again, so he got rid of her.
So he's getting rid of it. And I'm like, that's what I've been saying this for years, that Horikoshi is really good at like beating himself. He's outwriting his past self, which is like, bro, I love this. Like, he's basically always fighting his own ideas, and I'm like, I love that about this story because really think about it. He's like, all right, how can I outsmart myself when I've made a character as ridiculous as All For One, Shigaraki? And I'm like, he's doing it. God, it's so good.
Yeah, man.
I think our Nomu theory of James saying like he's gonna give the quirk to that Nomu in Escape because of that last panel. You see you see the Nomu right there flying, like above him.
So I mean, this I love this.
That's a flying creature. That ain't a stealth fly.
He goes.
That's
this
true.
backlash against my other quirks.
That's a Nomu.
Like a cannibalistic invader. This is dire. I can only steal quirks or bestow them. I can't dispose of one. So it's stuck.
Yep.
Give it away. Passive hot potato.
I must give it away. The pilots. I'll force it on.
Actually, you know what's so funny? 2 chapters ago,
and then they were like, "Psych, get his ass."
What's funny? 2 chapters ago, like they were all mentioning, like let's play hot potato with this, and you never expect her quirk is the hot potato for him.
The hottest potato. She had the martyrdom quirk on. If you remember from Call of Duty, she had martyrdom on. And it was super effective.
Yeah, eat that hot potato.
Oh my goodness, I love this whole chapter. Is so good. Like, yeah, I'm sad about Star and Stripe, but it's just what a badass way to go out. Like,
yeah, man.
Straight up. This is so good.
Literally against the greatest evil, the greatest known evil. You know what I mean?
Good. It's so good.
And I mean, she's still not done. Like, that's the best part. Like, her physical form is gone, but she's still fighting.
She's still in there beating his ass.
Like, yeah, man. Like
Ray said, her spirit is still fighting. Still fun forever.
I love this so much. It's like, and the fact that he can't get rid of it unless he literally gives it to somebody is wild.
Yeah, one of the quirks he wants, he's not gonna get any of the real quirks that he wants, which is the best part.
That makes me like, because at this point it's like, no, he literally got denied this one thing he really wanted, and that makes me happy. This is so good.
He's gotten almost everything else he wanted. So
exactly. So you can't have everything. You can't always get what you want, chat.
Not even if you're All For One. Apparently.
Yeah, no, but I love this chapter. This chapter was very good. Very, very good. I reread it like 5 times this morning. I'm like, oh,
same.
God, it's so good. It's so good.
All right, guys. All right.
But chat, y'all tell us what your favorite part was, and we're gonna move on.
we're gonna move on to another big chapter.
No, they were so good.
Incredible.
We
They
are
were so
starting
good.
Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 165. Ooh. All right, for one, Higamura, genius. Man's a full-on genius.
I mean, we do that.
Oh yeah, you're a lawyer, of course. You're a fucking lawyer.
I mean, not only that, but like, remember we talked about it. It's like how fast he figured out how to use domain expansion. Like immediately, we were like, that's insane. And so this just confirmed, like it confirmed that.
How fast he learned to use it, and how fast he learned that, oh, like if I follow these rules with domain expansion, I can actually make mine way more powerful than anyone else's. Like if I actually pay attention to it instead of just making it to like increase my cursed energy, everything else that you can do in a domain expansion is genius.
He learned the basics of barrier techniques. Then by working backward from barrier techniques, he acquired an instinctive
Man reverse engineered the entire
reinforcement
situation.
techniques divert from curse control energy. Instinctive.
And I love the dialogue
genius.
in this too. Like great dialogue in this chapter as well.
I mean, that's the one thing that I love about. So nobody in Jump writes like Giga does, because he writes with such matter of factness, but also in a just natural way. It's just easy to read. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm always fine with this. You know, people are like, oh, there's so many words and he uses. I'm like, well, yeah, he's telling a story in a way that he doesn't want to use a light novel. He still wants to have a manga, and he does it really well, like really, really well.
Him studying also with Yuji too. I thought this entire strength and everything was all curse technique. No, this is his strength. This is his own physical strength.
The fact when he realized that, he was like, oh shit. he real strong. Okay.
It's because of his
this
physical
scary.
prowess. His raw strength must be immense.
And so the thing I love about Yuji is he's strong as hell, but he's just smart enough to be dangerous.
Right, just smart enough. Dude,
Just smart
I was
enough.
telling Mia this morning, like, I wish Goku was more like this. Like, Goku
Same.
Yes.
never thinks about anything. Like, Yuji is physically strong as fuck, but he's using his mind in all of this. He's like, all right, these are the rules. Let me see how I can counteract these things based on the rules to give me the benefit, because I don't have my curse energy. He has his. This guy can make the mallet any size he wants. He can switch it between arms, between hands anytime he wants, switches the size. Like,
I can't wait to
He
see
has to
this
figure it
fight
out.
animated. This was gonna be one of the good ones too.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
God, it's gonna be good. Can't wait to see that in 2025. So I gotta say though, when he realizes, he's like, oh yeah, he doesn't even actually have a curse technique, and that's why his curse energy was just taken. And so that also lets him know, it's like, oh no, he's really strong. Like, yeah,
it's
he
like I'm
is.
fighting an unbreakable doll.
Yes. Oh man. And that's actually Yuji to a T. Yeah.
But yeah, man, for me, and I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but the biggest highlight for me in this chapter was just the moment when Yuji realizes, no, wait, I need to think. I need to think tactically about how I can defeat this guy within his domain expansion. I can't do anything else to defend. All I can do is evade. I have to think. And it's like, wait, court trials. I want a retrial. Just like we talked about last week, Yuji will figure out that he has to treat this like a courtroom, and Judge Man is fair. There's nothing that
At least he could catch his
Higuruma
breath
can
too,
do.
because there's no combat
Yeah.
within a trial. Too, he was catching his breath.
Exactly.
He was like, "Let me catch my breath. Let me.
Well,
I
I
want
mean,
to over."
Higuruma has to
So-
obey the rules, so retrial.
So for me, and y'all were talking about this a little bit before we started. So for me, with this, he did this because he knew if whatever was going to come up, he needed to be where he could level the playing field by having his cursed energy. So he was going to try. Well, I think he went into this hoping that he could get a death penalty verdict. So then he would have to fight him with his cursed energy. There's no confiscation then. He knew that he would have to fight regardless, and he knows that that's where he can win.
Because Higuruma said like usually he didn't mention confiscation is only an additional. There was supposed to be something else on top of whatever like you were supposed to get like trialed. So I guess it was like a more leniency.
Yeah, because I mean, Yuji
confiscation was a
doesn't exactly
leniency
have
kind of thing.
He doesn't have a curse technique. Really?
I mean,
But
but
he just
when-
took his cursed energy.
bro. But I'm not gonna lie. When Judgment said Yuji Itadori stands accused of mass murder in Shibuya, I said,
I was like,
wow,
oh,
shit.
yeah, I was like, oh shit,
loud.
oh
Out
no,
loud,
yeah,
out
same
loud.
here,
I said,
same
oh
here,
my
like,
God.
oh shit, no,
Oh, shit,
oh
you
no,
brought
oh
that up
no,
right
no,
here? It's like,
no,
Oh no, no,
oh
no.
no,
But
oh no,
because I thought it was like, oh, retrial. We're just gonna start from the beginning and then go over the evidence again. It's like, no,
no, you got the
stand
biggest
accused for
the
mass murder. in
murders,
Shibuya.
like,
I'm like,
oh
But,
crap,
so
no.
I mean, in is it Tume? Tuma in chat says what gets me is that usually blames himself for Sukuna's rampage. It's sad, but makes the most sense. So
it's
So-
no different
so-
than Bucky. It's no different than Bucky in the in comics. Like
Exactly.
even though he
Exactly.
was brainwashed, it was still him doing it. He was still conscious. He
Well,
just couldn't stop himself.
so
So he
I-
feels responsible for those actions.
yes, so there's a little piece of that. So with Sukuna, Yuji made that deal.
Yeah.
He made that deal.
He
That-
did.
that's true.
Bucky
That's
was
true.
forced into that brainwashing. So Yuji
That's true.
knows. He's like, in a way, it is still legitimately my fault because I made that deal with Sukuna.
That's
and so
that's a fair
I'm
point.
gonna own up to that.
And Righteous Justice asked this question way before the stream started. It's like, how do we feel about Itadori recognizing Sukuna's sins as his own?
Well, I mean, there's no
With just-
way
with what
around
Ray
that.
said.
Yeah, there
It
is.
was
There's
what
no
Ray
way
said.
around
Like
it.
he made that deal
Uh-huh.
knowing the potential of what Sukuna could do
Mm-hmm.
with having like full access to his body for what was it, 1 minute? Or whatever
Long
it
enough.
was. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it technically is his fault.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
yeah,
it
you're
was-
completely right.
I mean, but this also like it helps. This is really big character growth for him because
Mhm.
he, instead of running from it and just feeling sorry for himself, he's like, yeah, I did that. I know I fucked up, and so yeah, I'm gonna own up to that. Once he accepts it and internalizes it, he can move on, which is wild because this is, that was like that hit hard.
And like he had accepted before, like a chapter after Shibuya arc. He's like, I killed so many people. I don't.
I
have to
think
give
that
it
was
back
still
and
the
everything.
shock of it.
Yeah.
Honestly. This was like he accepted it.
this, yeah, acceptance, and he's only 15. Like he's showing like incredible like growth. You know what I mean? Like this is great.
What was also interesting is Higuruma saw his eyes, and then he showed up the same eyes that he had when he lost the case for.
So Gally,
That's
wouldn't
passive.
that technically still be he had passed out, but still wouldn't that technically be the vow? Because he passed out. He was force fed 15 fingers. He still passed out. So technically that was the vow
Yeah.
being fulfilled. It was a loophole in it, but it was technically still the vow. Was it not?
Either way, he's still responsible.
Yeah, he has to be responsible for this one, even though I don't know
It's
how.
very big of him.
I don't know how Higuruma would try to.
Yeah, that was very big of him, James. You're absolutely right. It's like, bro, yeah, you.
Because it's so easy to say, well, if you really look at it, I was taken over by one of the most powerful course spirits ever. So it wasn't my fault. No, he took complete ownership of that
I
shit.
mean, and he could also say, like, I mean, him taking ownership of this is basically, you know, hey, had I not eaten that finger in the first place, that never would have happened. He ate the first finger, you know, and that's what led to this.
He's the first finger, and
Uh-huh.
he made a deal with Sukuna, right?
So I mean,
Like,
no matter how you look at it, him accepting that it makes the most sense. Like I'm like he's not innocent in this, and he basically listened to what Megumi told him. There are no good people in this.
What if
You know?
what if the person you save ends up killing someone in the future, and it's still replaying him over his head?
It's wild. They're holding it over him. It's wild. But it's and so I wonder how that's going to come up.
I'm
though.
wondering like what's in the evidence folder.
That's what I'm hoping. It's like what truly is in that? Are they going to see the difference in his face?
Yeah, I'm
And be
gonna.
like, well,
yeah.
this doesn't look like you.
so like what me and Sam were talking about before we started, like I think the evidence will show that technically it was Sukuna, right? Like even though they look similar, it's technically not him.
Higuruma would definitely.
Depending on what lore you read, when some beings have like dual personalities or like a completely take Split for instance, right? Like one of his personalities was diabetic, right? One was an artist, like so maybe the fingerprints are different, right? The physical look is also different, so it's technically not Yuji. So I think
Technically.
that's what's in the evidence folder.
I mean, you're right.
Higuruma,
Technically, it's not.
Higuruma will definitely look in this evidence because he feel like this doesn't seem right. he has that tick where like if I don't see something that doesn't like look right because of the eyes or something that doesn't feel right correctly, he would want to change
page 19.
this.
Look, page 19. Look at his face. He's like the look of like legitimate shock on his face.
So,
like
wait, what? It was like, wait, that was you? What? How?
I mean, and like, because if you look at you, like Yuji just looks like a good kid. Like Yuji does not look like somebody who's capable of something like that. Period.
But with Yuji's eyes, he accepted that guilt and all that
like
in his shoulders.
That
like,
panel messed me up. Like just the look in his eyes was like.
I mean,
full
every
acceptance.
day after Shibuya, he had to face the fact that it's technically on him in some way, right? So it's like he's just gotten to this point, and we're seeing it more and more. I love it, man. I've been loving Yuji's like development over this entire story. Because I'll be honest, like when I first read Jujutsu Kaisen in the beginning, I thought he kind of would have ended up being pretty one note like Goku, you know. But he's gotten so much development, you know. So I love it.
It's so good. It is so good. Like it's just his development has been insane. But like not only that, so you know how in other shonen, you know, battle anime manga, like this is when the other character just kind of like accepts the hero for, you know, for what they are. And like when Yuji grows, he forces everybody around him to grow because he is acknowledging something about himself that gets him to where he can move on to the next point. It's self-improvement, it's self-growth. You know, in other stories, it's like, man, we could have been friends if things had been different. Get that out of my face, bro. Like, I'm tired of that. So I'm excited about this because like now that you just accepted this, he can truly move on, I think. I mean, he'll always remember it, but he's accepted it. That's completely different of him just, you know, acknowledging it. Like now he can truly move forward, I think, as a character. And the rest of this fight about to be wild, boy. Unless Hiraguma stops it. And he's like,
he would want to try to prolong everything a bit before Judgment.
I want to see how I want to see how he responds to Judgment in this. Like, I want to know. I wonder if he's gonna be like, hold up, that don't seem right. Are you lying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping there's a little bit more talking because that would really make sense here, especially for his character, personally. Right. It would be weird for him to be like, okay, well, you gotta die. I feel like that'd be strange in this instance because he is about justice and upholding the law. So, yeah, I'm really curious.
It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes because technically in the court of law, you can't bring up more things once the judge has already made their verdict.
True.
But we'll see how it works because it is technically his domain expansion, but it's also supposed to be fair on both ends.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes. So I want to see, like you said, Ray, I want to see some more talking between them. I want to see, you know what, Judge Man, hey, let me ask him a few more questions because I want to know more about this, like before you continue with your ruling.
Like,
so that's what I hope. We'll see.
Like, because I mean, he could just dispel his domain expansion, right? He could just be like, hold up, and just cancel it. Could he not?
I mean, wouldn't Judge Man have to make like an official ruling and it has to end before that can happen?
I don't think.
But I don't know.
He's in control of his domain expansion, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, he could technically just be like, hold up.
Chat, what do you guys think?
Yeah, like let me know what you think about that, because I mean, we've seen that in most cases those like rules about domain expansions are absolute, but we've never seen it to where the person who's used the domain expansion decided not to go through with the rules of their domain expansion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, is there a chance that that happens? I think there's a chance.
I think if he doesn't have that kind of control, the only control he would have is to turn over the ruling from Judgment itself.
Well, I mean, but what James said, Judge Man is the judge. Once the ruling's made technically.
Yeah.
Unless he goes.
But it is, like Ray said, it is his domain expansion.
Unless he decides to do a retrial, like he says retrial, which is weird. So I don't know.
I mean, I guess that technically would be within his right, because they can each call for one.
And Galley says, I mean, Gojo can open and close it in 0.2 seconds. So yeah, I mean, I think he might have that kind of control. I'm just really curious to see how it happens.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see it, because I'm thinking that the thought process was usually like, if I say that I'm guilty, I can then fight with everything I have. You know, at least have a chance to win in that regard, rather than like this.
I don't even know if he thought that far ahead.
Maybe
he
not.
was asked. I think he was just asked a question, and
He
due to
answered
the
it
nature of that
truthfully,
question, he just answered it truthfully.
I mean, you might be right. I mean, but the look in his eye at the end is like they shift completely. He's like, all right, time to get shit done.
Yeah,
like,
this is the next step. This is what I got to do.
Yuji's so good, but this change in Judge Man, terrifying.
Remember, like he always sold up his eyes, and now eyes wide open, angry.
Ugh. Ugh. The mouth, this is all. I'm like, this is creepy as hell. I don't like that. I don't like that. Who we? But
And
this chapter,
how is the death penalty would go through now? That's another thing. Like, so how does death penalty would work with confiscation in a way?
good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Does Judge Man do it? Like,
That's
does
what
he
I'm.
pull out a scythe?
This is what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that now Judge Man's like, now I get to.
I mean, it could, because like, can we believe it's all Higuruma, like all combat fighting that killed the 20 sorcerers, or is it Judge Man itself could also been?
I mean, when it probably came to the fights, like he was just in, probably.
He probably can,
Yeah.
but like, what if, like, the death penalty thing was also help contribute killing the sorcerers as well?
Yeah, I think it's
Maybe.
both. I
Yeah.
think it's both. Like Ray was saying, like the fights that he's physically in, I think he just defeats them.
Mm-hmm.
But then if the trial goes like this and Judge Man makes a ruling, then if it's death penalty, I think Judge Man does it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also another way to destroy a domain expansion. Your domain expansion needs to be stronger than the other ones.
Yes, technically,
Yeah.
but I mean he can't use his
Wouldn't
curse
it
energy.
wouldn't it be weird for Yuji to just all of a sudden have a domain expansion?
I never said it was going to have to be Yuji.
I mean, who else gonna be there?
Well, the thing was I think it was like
Sukuna's inside him?
Sukuna was inside him to do it.
We can't keep relying on that, bro.
Yeah, like
It's-
I
well-
don't think you would go to the Sukuna well for something like this.
Not
'Cause
him
I think this is good
specifically,
development
but it's
for
more like
Yuji and
I feel
So,
like
I mean, I
he-
see what you're saying, Sam. Is that
I feel like
it's possible.
Sukuna can't die from this. He's just gonna be like, yo, this is weak power, everything. It's like, how do you dying for this boy? It's like it's more of a insult kind of thing.
You know,
I mean-
to that point, Sam, what if Judge Man does kill him and then Sukuna brings him back to life? I don't think that's gonna happen, but based on what you're saying, that could be very possible.
Be like the moment Judge Man sees Sukuna, like you just fucked up.
Listen, I am all about in stories like this that the main character saves themselves. Don't like them having to have other people save them all the time. Like,
I mean, it wasn't all the time. It was
Right.
more Sukuna every single time. It's more like I had my own agendas and goals and just basically fuck with you. That's it.
I don't
Every
want
single
that to
time.
happen either.
Me
I
either.
don't want it to happen that much either. You know, I much prefer. This is the perfect moment for Yuji to continue to grow and to not have to use his fist to win a battle. Like I think this is just huge development for him. Sukuna would kind of ruin it for me if he showed up. If I'm being honest.
Honestly, well, I mean, it would ruin it for me because then it would have to be a really, really interesting reason why, other than just the fact that he can't die. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. Based on the reason, sure.
Yeah, but it would depend on the reason. Is here because I know Gege wouldn't do that to us. You know, like and Gallus saying, you know, Megumi. I mean, yeah, Megumi can show, but Megumi's got his own problems right now.
Yeah,
That
he's
we
in his
haven't
own fight right now.
that we haven't seen sorted. Like that didn't get sorted out in that chapter, did it? I don't think it did.
Nah.
I mean, it
so
can,
still going.
Can it be resolved off screen? Like, do we really care about the
He bet
Scorpion
not.
girl? And, you know?
I do. I
He
care.
bet not. No, that bet not be off screen. I want to see all that.
I mean, he
so-
was also betrayed too. Like I would
Exactly.
hate to.
I wanna
for that
see
just
how
to be off
he-
screen.
How that plays out through him emotionally. Like he was literally betrayed. He said, and he told him, he's like, "You bet not betray me." And then they do. So I got to see how that plays out. But my goodness. But yeah, Gally also says maybe Yuji is restrained and Hiraguma is given a sword. I mean, maybe, and he could choose not to do it. Who knows?
Possible.
I'm like, I want to see it though. I'm like, of all the chapters I'm excited to see next week, it's JJK, straight up, like without a doubt.
Next week.
Listen,
Next week.
I'm really
And I don't
excited. I'm really excited about My Hero, but at this point, I'm really excited to see how this plays out.
Dude, Black Clover. that's one of the ones I'm most hype about. Dude, because now the whole Black Bulls are together. against Morris. Let's go. You know it's gonna be
I
insane.
mean, is it really against Morris?
Yeah, I don't know.
whatever. But no, I'm really curious to see how this plays out. Like, honestly, this has been like, I've been really engaged in this one. Every time I read it, I'm like, okay, no, like I'm like paying attention to every single word, and I'm like, I need to see how this happens.
The culling game is honestly one of the most interesting tournament arcs
So far, yeah.
like that I've seen so far. Honestly,
You're right.
because it's technically a tournament arc.
It's
but
not.
I've never seen one with these types of rules, you know, and, and we're only in the beginning,
And
so-
the rules can change.
and the rules can change, they can adapt. Like there's so many, yeah.
I mean, the only one I think you could kind of is Greed Island. It's kind of like, kind of complicated like that, but
Yeah.
I like this a lot more. I'll be honest.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I mean,
You know,
yeah, it's not
definitely
done,
up
but
there as
I'm
one
enjoying
of
this
them,
a
one
lot
of the
more.
more interesting ones. Yeah.
So, what do you guys think was the chapter of the week for this issue?
I
You
knew
know
this
this
question
was
was
coming. You know, like you're delaying the inevitable.
not
You're
ready for
delaying the inevitable.
Chat, y'all tell us what y'all favorite one was in the chat while I think about this.
Again, for me personally, it's gonna be JJK, man. Again, I love stuff like this where we get to see things that aren't just punch, punch, kick, kick. We know that Yuji can do this, but now he has to use his intellect to fight, his intellect to win. He's also accepting the crimes of what happened at Shibuya. He's being an adult, taking that head on. Like that was one of my favorite panels. Him just standing there, straight face, like, yeah, this was something terrible that I did, and I have to own up to it. Like, regardless of what other people think, yeah, technically it was Sukuna, but I am also responsible for this. So this was huge character growth from Yuji. We got to continue to see everything in this courtroom domain expansion. The fact that Yuji thought about coming up with a retrial to continue this fight. It was just really, really interesting to me. Everything in My Hero's cool, but all of that stuff is stuff that we expected to see. And you know, it's all cool stuff, you know, really cool powers, cool quirks against each other. But for me, the psychological stuff hits me harder, so it's JJK for me.
Right.
In chat, it doesn't have to be just the ones that we talked about today. It could be anything that you read in Jump this week, that you're like, hey, this is my favorite. That's perfectly fine.
Gally said JJK. Teru said JJK.
I mean, which is valid.
It is very valid.
Like,
It's very valid.
JJK was very good this week. So this is really hard for me because there are different things about both JJK and My Hero that I really wanted and needed to see. In JJK, it was this realization from Yuji that, you know, it's like, hey, I have to accept my sins that I committed and still move forward. But not only that, is that he was able to, he knew he couldn't keep going forever at the rate that he was going. And he needed to find a way to level the playing field in a place where, oh, wow, yeah, that's right. It's a level playing field. And so, like, I don't think most people would have figured that out. I'll be very honest. Most people wouldn't, they just would have accepted their fate. And he didn't. He was like, no, there's got to be another way to do this. And he came to the conclusion of a retrial. Beautiful. God, that made me so happy when he did that, because that's what I was
might
hoping
have
for.
to accept this one. Yeah, you mass murdered Shibuya.
I mean, yes, because
in a way, I got trapped in a corner at that moment. Like, oh,
and it's also like, as much as anybody could try and make an argument for it, at the end of the day, what happened in Shibuya was Yuji. I mean, yeah, it wasn't Yuji, but
only,
still,
but yeah,
it was Yuji at the end of the day. It's just like literally how you boil it down. Like, I mean, the defense can be made that it wasn't him as well. Like, that's the thing, because we know it wasn't. So he just knows that it was him physically that did it, but it wasn't him consciously that did it. So there's a whole lot, and that's why I love this, because you can go into a lot of different nuances, you know, both for and against.
We are going the whole Law and Order,
but
laws and everything.
Speaking of order, but New Order and what she just did to One for All, I feel like was also big brain genius moves.
It is a very big last
Like,
moment.
This is
last
the
card
first
play
time,
kind of thing.
I feel like in my recent memory, this is the first time we've seen All for One legitimately outmatched in a way that he wasn't expecting, which is huge for this series.
And he's
been
mentioned
on top
this too
every single time.
He mentioned this too.
Lose multiple times.
He's
In this one, he was all about winning.
He was mentioning too that World Order was like too like crazy and destructive for him and dangerous, and now we see why.
I mean, it's the like, I mean, yes, this is basically kind of something we expected. We expected a sacrifice play of some kind, and it's like, well, yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, this person sacrificed themselves to do something, but then the villain's still really fine. It was dope as hell, and I could not believe that he actually did it. I didn't think he was gonna do it, but he did it, and I'm like, this is great. I love this. But favorite chapter of the ones we talked about today, it's absolutely got to be JJK. I mean, I can't even, like, as much as I could be like, yeah, I love y'all know, if y'all been here long, if you know that I love My Hero Academia, but this chapter of JJK was just like, yeah, damn.
You didn't like Gege didn't have to hit us like this, but like
he
did not. He really did not hit. If it wasn't for Yuji saying, "Yeah, I did it. I am guilty."
Did y'all
the eyes and everything.
Did you expect this to come up in trial? Period. Because I didn't.
No.
Yeah.
I thought like maybe some other lenient trial like last time.
Right?
Like wasn't so bad.
With the small petty crime that they started with, completely misdirected me.
I was like, wait, I'm hoping for a petty crime. You got the most ultimate sin that you've ever committed in your life.
You think about
it logically. It's like, retrial, meaning we're going to do over the same thing again, presenting new evidence, bringing new things to the table.
That's more of appeal.
We're just gonna go to mass
that was a whole appeal. We gotta accept the whole conversation from a mass murderer that you're innocent. Oh no, never mind.
Is my chapter. It's very, very good. Like I said, if you are reading Shonen Jump at all, and like I hope that you're enjoying all the stuff that you're getting, because we're getting some really good stories right now. Like this is awesome. I mean, like I've been reading Joe for years, and like I'll be honest, I don't think I've been having this much like actual fun reading week to week than I am right now. Like I'm having a good time. So yeah, JJK. How about you, Sam?
It has to be JJK. Like, My Hero has been winning it for the last couple of chapters, but Gege hit us with that page, that panel alone.
You can say he hit us over the head with a gavel.
Yeah. We did. That giant mallet.
Literally.
That giant mallet that hit Yuji hit us too.
Oh man, it's so good. So good. But like I said, chat basically also saying JJK, and chat, you're right. You're right. This is a fantastic week for JJK. I don't know. It's just like with Shibuya, because Shibuya, man, when Shibuya hit certain points, it was like, God damn, this is amazing, and it's happening again.
It had a good had a good setup for it and everything.
Had a great setup,
dude. One of my favorite parts of Shibuya was the conspiracy behind the entire event. Like that's something that I thought was really, really cool. It was more than just like a slaughter, but it was just like the conspiracy around it, everything else that happened, the planning that went into the event of Shibuya. Like,
every family's secrets and their shadiness and everything too.
By the way, and this is just like a weird random like tangent / do you think Sukuna did that on purpose?
The mass murdering and everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just for fun.
Yeah, he did.
But he did that on purpose.
He did do it on purpose.
What do you think?
I'm thinking he did that to have some sort of like weight over Yuji's head. It's like, hey, remember you killed all those people. That wasn't me.
Remember, like he was looking for something to entertain himself and have fun with, and like the whole previous culling game. Because now we know like there were previous culling games in recent history in the past, thanks to fake ghetto and everything like that. And now
fake ghetto.
And now it's like, yeah, I'm just having my fun. I'm just gonna do the whole seriousness and everything, kill everything, kill all. Who is there to now stop me now that it's like hundreds of years in the future?
Yeah, I don't know. But y'all watching here and now and then in the future, let me know. What do you think? Has Sukuna been kind of planning this out, or did he just do Shibuya for fun? Was he literally just like, I'm bored?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
He's done a lot. He's done a lot of stuff because he was bored. So I could see it either way. So planning, not.
I don't know. This seems mighty convenient.
It's like, it's been a minute since I killed a couple hundred people. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's been a minute since I destroyed an entire country.
Which, let's be real, is also plausible with this character. So let us know. And then, like what Sam just said in the chat right now, hey, if you're watching this video and you agree with something that we said, you disagree with something that we said, you've enjoyed watching any of this, do me a favor. Like the video, because it helps us out a lot. It helps more people come in and have these conversations with us. Because look, we love talking with y'all in chat. We don't know everything about all these stories. I love reading them, but I don't remember every damn thing. Some of y'all damn near experts. Y'all read this stuff front to back, cover to cover, week after week. I got a lot of other stuff to do, so I ain't got time to do all that. I'm just here to talk about it after I read it. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, because we do this every Sunday. We come in a review. We're adding more chapters. We're adding more series as we go along. So if you have other series that you want us to cover, throw them in the comments, throw them in the chat. Let us know. I'm currently still trying my ass off to get caught up on One Piece, so we can talk about One Piece week to week before it ends, whenever that's going to be.
Even though the anime is going 1,000 this coming Saturday.
Damn.
But I also want to try and cover new series. So what was the one that came out today? Yashimon. I don't know. I'm seeing really good things about it, so we might talk about that next week. And then, like I said, if y'all have some other stuff that you're like, hey,
that's the same
y'all should
creator as
get
Hell,
love to talk about it next week.
Hell Paradox, actually. Same creator as Hell Paradox.
So if you have the stuff you want us to get caught up on, let us know, and I'll try my best. Because I mean, currently I know the rest of the team is kind of caught up on Mashal, Sakamoto Days, Undead Unluck. I think we could all get caught up on Elusive Samurai and potentially Dr. Stone. So y'all let us know what y'all want to see.
Yeah.
And
I'll definitely get caught up on Undead Unluck so we can do it. I apologize.
Undead Unluck would be a fun one to just like do weekly too. So we'll be there, but I don't know. Until then, Sam, take us home.
Guys, actually, can you guys give us your plugs? James, Ray, please. There was something.
Yeah.
You got to like and subscribe to their channels as well.
I mean, you don't have to like and subscribe to mine. As long as y'all come back and see us here on Sunday, I'm cool.
But yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Jbxclusive. I talk about movies, talk about comics, talk about manga. So if you want to hear me talk about that stuff, go over to Twitter. Go to the Careful for Spoilers YouTube channel. I would appreciate it if you subscribe. We just did a 3-hour Eternals breakdown, full breakdown of all of the characters.
Very good.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. We broke down the function of the Celestials in the universe, the Eternals, the Deviants. We broke down each individual character, potential for the future of the MCU, how the Eternals movie expanded the lore of 7,000 years of the MCU. So really deep cuts review. Check that out. Also did The Harder They Fall. Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot more reviews. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. Tune in to Shonen Ronins every single week and let us know what you guys want us to review. See you on the next one.
Guys, also subscribe and like and check out our other friends, our other teammates. We have Prince Alal, Abe. He's doing some sports. He's doing some interviews for Hit Mob at the moment. Always follow him in his channel.
The only one that's not a bum is Spicy Lady. So the other two was bums, and they know they can. I said it. Y'all's bums. I love you, but y'all's bums. And yeah. Sorry, Sam. Keep going.
Don't worry, Ray. Don't worry, Ray. Abe will hear this at the end. Yeah, follow Spicy Lady Entertainment. She games on Saturdays and Sundays now, and you always check her out. And her articles in Screen Rant. She's a writer right now. She's been busy, but it's understand. But when she's able to come in, she's definitely great. And we'll see what we get to do about next week, considering this following weekend is also Anime NYC. We have most of our team coming into a convention, but we will try to see if we could do Shonen Ronins that Sunday. Maybe
that's
live.
right. No, Shonen Ronin ain't happening next week. My bad. It's not happening next week unless I get on here by myself.
I mean, I can walk with a mic. I can do it from my hotel.
Hey, I'll be home. Hey, New York is my home.
Fair. So I don't know. We'll keep y'all updated on what's happening with that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Hope you have a good day. Peace.